Hey everyone, and welcome to this explainer. I am so thrilled you're here today because let's face it, moving to a new home in Brisbane is super exciting, but that burning question of how much is this actually going to cost me? Well, that can cause a whole lot of anxiety. So, today, we're going to completely demystify the financial realities of relocating. We're rolling out our budget blueprint to break down absolutely everything, from your baseline rates to those sneaky hidden fees, so you can plan your next big move with absolute confidence. Okay, get a load of this. From $450 to over $2,500 plus. That is a massive, massive price variance, right? If you're just packing up a small apartment, you're likely sitting at the lower end of that spectrum. But if you've got a large family home, well, you could easily breeze past that $2,500 mark. Our main goal today is to help you navigate this huge spectrum. We're going to figure out exactly where your Brisbane move is likely to land, and more importantly, how you can actually take control of that final number. So here's our roadmap for today. We're covering average Brisbane moving costs, hourly versus fixed quotes, the factors driving prices up, hidden extra moving costs, and finally, smart ways to save. It's a structured roadmap, and it's going to reveal the actual insider secrets that removalists use to price your move. All right, let's dive right into this with Section 1, Average Brisbane Moving Costs. We need to establish our baseline. So what does a standard local move actually look like on paper? For local Brisbane removalists, the most common setup is an hourly rate, and you can generally expect that to sit somewhere between $110 and $200 per hour. Now, where you actually fall in that range depends entirely on the scale of your operation, mostly how many movers you need and how big of a truck it takes to haul your entire life from point A to point B. To put that into perspective, take a look here and find your property size. These hourly rates translate into wildly different real-world scenarios. If you're in a studio or a one-bed unit, you're looking at, say, 2 to 4 hours with 2 movers. That brings you to roughly $450 to $810. But look at how quickly it scales up. Jump down to a 4-plus bedroom house. Suddenly, you need 3 movers, a massive truck, and 7 to 10 hours of back-breaking labor. That pushes your estimated cost up to anywhere between $1,800 and $2,520. It's basically simple math. More of your stuff equals a higher required truck volume, usually measured in cubic meters, and that directly correlates to way more labor hours for packing, loading, and unloading. Right. So once you know your baseline cost, the next big hurdle is figuring out how you actually want to be billed. That brings us to Section 2, hourly versus fixed quotes. You're generally going to run into 2 distinct pricing models. On one hand, you have hourly rates. These are fantastic for smaller, really straightforward local moves. If you're super organized, everything's perfectly packed in boxes, and you're just hopping a few suburbs over, the hourly rate totally rewards your preparation. But if you're tackling a complex move, or maybe an interstate haul from Brisbane all the way down to Sydney, a fixed quote is your absolute best friend. Think about it. A fixed quote protects your budget from unexpected delays. If that moving truck gets stuck in massive highway traffic, an hourly rate just keeps ticking up, literally burning through your budget. A fixed quote, though, gives you a single price and incredible peace of mind no matter how bad the traffic gets. Time for a little myth-busting, moving into Section 3, factors driving prices up. Because honestly, just getting your couch from point A to point B is not the only thing dictating your final bill. If there is literally one thing you take away from this entire explainer, let it be the golden rule of moving. More volume equals a bigger truck plus more hours. The physical volume of your belongings, combined with the actual physical distance between your old place and your new one, those are the foundational drivers of your bill. Longer distances mean more fuel costs and way more time on the road for the crew. And interstate moves? They drastically amplify this just because of the complex logistics involved. But you know what? Distance and volume aren't the only culprits here. Think about physical accessibility roadblocks. Do you live in a 3rd-floor apartment with no elevator? Are your doorways notoriously narrow? Or what if the moving truck has to park 100 meters down the street because there's no reserved parking or loading bay? These difficult access conditions are absolute budget killers on an hourly rate. They slow down the crew, they make every single trip from your living room to the truck significantly longer, and they effectively burn the clock, blowing out your budget. Moving smoothly right along to Section 4, hidden extra moving costs. To really protect your wallet, you have got to plan for the optional services and surprise fees that just love to sneak onto that final invoice. Here are the most common additions that can quickly inflate your budget. First up, packing materials. You might need to buy a ton of bubble wrap, packing tape, and specialty boxes for your fragile items. Then there are optional services like professional packing. Sure, having experts pack your fragile items saves you a massive amount of time and stress, but remember, it's charged at an extra hourly rate. You also need to think about storage. If there's a gap between your move-out and move-in dates, you'll be paying for short or long-term storage. And finally, insurance. Most companies offer basic coverage, but upgrading to comprehensive insurance for those high-value items, that's another common added expense you need to factor in. So this brings up an absolutely critical question that you should be asking yourself. Are there any hidden fees to watch out for on the big day itself? What might they charge extra for? The answer is a resounding yes. If you've got an incredibly heavy specialty item, I'm talking a grand piano or a massive heavy-duty safe, expect an extra fee. If there's a really long walk from the truck to your door or difficult stair access that wasn't clearly communicated up front, a lot of removalists will slap a surcharge on there. This is exactly why you must always ask your moving company for a highly detailed, itemized breakdown of potential charges beforehand. Being proactive here is literally the only way to avoid those nasty, stressful surprises on moving day. And this brilliantly illustrates how you can take control back. Let's head into our final phase, Section 5, Smart Ways to Save.
We're going to start with a huge scheduling secret. It's a question savvy budgeters ask all the time. Is it actually cheaper to move on a weekday?
Absolutely, yes. You should always try to book your move between Monday and Thursday. Weekends and public holidays are the absolute peak crazy times for the moving industry. Because demand is just so high, many companies will charge a premium or just flat out have higher hourly rates on Saturdays and Sundays. Simply shifting your moving date to a Tuesday or a Wednesday can yield some seriously significant savings for the exact same service. So here is a straightforward 1, 2, 3 action plan to keep those costs down. Step 1. Declutter before you pack. Remember our golden rule, fewer items mean fewer cubic meters, a smaller truck, and less time. Step 2. Get detailed quotes from at least 3 companies. Don't just obsess over the bottom line price either. Compare their hourly rates, check for any minimum charge hours, and definitely read their online reviews. And step 3. Book that weekday move well in advance to lock in the absolute best rate. As we wrap up this advice, I really want you to keep this in mind. A smart move focuses on balancing cost with quality and customer satisfaction. Look, I know it is incredibly tempting to just pick the absolute cheapest quote you receive. We've all been there. But beware, poor service can lead to damaged goods, broken furniture, and a highly stressful moving day. The cheapest option isn't always the best value in the long run. So, as you look forward to your upcoming Brisbane move, I'm going to leave you with this final thought to ponder. Will you prioritize the absolute lowest price on paper, or will you invest just a little bit more in a reputable team for a completely stress-free transition to your new home? The choice is entirely yours. But hey, now you have the blueprint to make the smartest decision possible. Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer, and happy moving.